Welcome back. Our skills acquisition and entrepreneurial development is said to be key to solving the problem of unemployment. And as a way of giving back to the society, the U.S. Consulate, in collaboration with the Field of Skills and Dreams, a leading vocational, technical, and entrepreneurship training institute, has been engaging in training and equipping Nigerian entrepreneurs with the requisite skills and entrepreneurial know-how to enhance their success in the business world. And I'm being joined by the Public Affairs Officer, U.S. Consulate Lagos, Darcy Zota, and the CEO, Field of Skills and Dreams, Omowale Ogunride.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having you on the show. So, Zota, you tell me, why is the U.S. government interested in training young Nigerian entrepreneurs? What's the incentive?
The reason we're interested in training young Nigerians is because one of our 3 top priorities in Nigeria is creating economic opportunities and supporting Nigerian economic development. And we know, not just in Nigeria, but globally, entrepreneurs can and are leading the way to job creation, wealth distribution, economic opportunities, political stability. So we're looking at the whole picture, not just one element of it, but looking across Nigeria.
So what is the incentive? What does the U.S. government, what are they looking at gaining out of all of this?
An economically prosperous Nigeria. So I think what you're asking is, but what's in it for the U.S.? Right? Yeah, I know. You were just being polite. Okay, so what's in it for the U.S.? What's in it for the U.S. is that we know that Nigeria is sort of the driving force in Africa. And we're firmly convinced that whither goes Nigeria, goes Africa. So we're very invested in Nigeria, and we want it to be economically stable, politically stable, and so that's what's in it for us.
So it's kind of a way of giving back to the society.
Yes, and we look at it as a win-win. And that's one of the reasons, we partnered up. We didn't come in here and do this by ourselves. But what we do in my office is what we say, amplify the positive. So we sort of had an idea of entrepreneurship, but we didn't just go out there and set up our own school. It was, we looked for a good Nigerian partner that knew how to do this, that was already doing it, and that's how Omowale and I became friends.
Okay, before I get to Omowale, the Conference for Emerging Entrepreneurs is in its 2nd year. Right, so what is it all about?
Good question. Why are we doing this for the 2nd time? I would argue that when you're looking at the effectiveness of a conference like we did, you don't just look at, who came and, how many people participated, but you look at the outcomes. And so what we've been able to see of the people that participated the first time, it was about a year ago, there have been an incredible number of successes. So I'm too old, people. I am too old to just have another talk fest, as Omowale does. Yeah, we're not doing another talk fest. So we wanted to create a program that people would walk away, and a year later, they're still invested in it.
Okay, let me talk to you now. Now, did the outcome of the first edition of this program meet your stated objectives?
I think it actually exceeded it. And just this morning, we've been talking about the kind of success stories that come in on a daily basis. We have a WhatsApp group for those who participated last year, and they are doing amazing things outside the group and even within. So the singular word I will use is that they got the energy to push forward. And that is why across board, they have all moved forward, moved their businesses forward. They've expanded their businesses. They formed partnerships. They have new networks. And so the success stories is enough to say this is worth it, and we should do more of this for emerging entrepreneurs. The people we deal with are the micro, those who have just started or about to start, or are struggling with starting. And so it's actually, like I said this morning also, that they're like business owners who are crawling, and we help them to stand up. And when they have stood up, they can actually begin to walk and to run. And within 1 year, we can actually see marked difference in what they are all doing. We're taking some of them back to Port Harcourt with us this year to actually come and share their success stories from just 1 year.
Okay, so what are the key business and entrepreneurship issues this 2-day training program will help to address?
Okay, some of the things we actually start by having successful businessmen come to share their business stories. And that kind of sets the tone for the conference. Last year, we had, including your CEO, share his business story, his startup story, which I'm sure some of even his employees do not know. And for everybody who had known him, it was like, what if you went through that? Then for sure, I am going to even succeed or supersede what you have achieved. And so we start by giving them strength and energy to believe in themselves, believe that they have the capacity to excel. And then after that session, which is the opening ceremony, we now start to teach things like courage to start your own business, what are the fundamental things that are required to manage a startup, how do you even pitch your business idea to somebody to listen, how do you talk about what you're doing, and then we now bring in sector-based entrepreneurs, people who have succeeded in specific sectors. This year in Port Harcourt, we're looking at energy, we're looking at the fashion industry, we're looking at agric and food processing, and we're also looking at ICT and technology. If I begin to run through the names of the speakers, I'm sure you will say...
there's no need for that.
So you will say we're bringing the whole of Nigeria. But the point is that they just are able to interact with people who have done it before and who are now able to teach them and guide them in the way they need to go.